A good pair of undies is like a good physio. Awesome. Exactly. Supportive, all the good stuff.
Makes you good.
So I wanted to talk about investment. Obviously, it's a big investment financially for people to come see a PT, right? That's one hurdle. But if I've got a client that has an injury, and then I'm telling them, hey, PT's already the price that it is, you're going to need a fork out for a physio, but it's very, very good for your health and it'll get you pain-free, but also working towards a greater good of mobility and reaching the goals that you want safely and injury-free throughout then your lifting career or whatever goal period we've sort of set. I suppose, how could you break that down and explain that process to somebody that wants to come in but is worried that you're going to just kind of charge them out the arse, if I can be honest?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, again, I guess we look at the why. So we want to build longevity and optimal health for the long term. So, if you're training and you've injured yourself, or you've got a niggle even, and you're training through niggle, and niggle gets worse, it starts affecting your training. You're going and paying for massages and all these sort of fad devices, and in the end, you've spent all this money trying to chase this niggle when you could have at the start sort of identified that niggle, got it checked out, invested the money in the first place, but on the back end, you're able to manage your condition and you don't need to waste money on those other areas.
I think that's really important, mate, because I've found that so often where now I barely even go see a massage therapist. It's maybe once every 2 months. For good reason. I don't have any pains or niggles and nags because one, I obviously train correctly, but two, have learnt how to manage what's going to come up for me.
Yeah.
What are the things that my knee, for example, bicep, how to work around those things because I put in the time and the money to come through and understand my potential injuries, right? Where my weaknesses lie, so nothing comes up that I'm not ready for. And I think I've saved money then as an investment. I've saved on that by investing early. I haven't had to spend hours and weeks and whatever working back from there. And I've had times where I haven't done that either, where I've injured and going, she'll be right, mate, she'll be right. And I think I probably even would have had you there to look out for me. And I've gone, nah, she'll be fine, and have worked myself. It's taken me 6 months to get out of an injury that took me 3 months to get into, right? With the knee. So I think that's a really, really useful statement that a lot of people, don't think about.
Yeah, well, I sort of think of it like, you go out and you buy a cheap pair of undies and you wear them 3 times and they're all stretched and saggy, so you have to go out and buy another cheap pair of undies, and you continue doing that. You've spent, $60 on cheap undies when you could have just gone and invested good money in a good pair of undies, and you haven't needed to buy them again for 6 months.
So
similar.
Like undies.
Yeah, like stretchy undies.
A good pair of undies is like a good physio. Awesome. Exactly. Supportive, all the good stuff.
Makes you good.
Anything that you guys would sort of add to that, I suppose, again, that whole idea of the importance of a physio and that and how much money and time they'll save as a result of coming to see you guys?
I think like Emma said, you can go see a massage therapist and get the sore spot rubbed, or go to a doctor and get some painkillers and start popping them to deal with the pain. But at the end of the day, they're not going to look into and find what the actual issue is and start treating that actual issue. So when you come to physio, the first thing we do is work out what's going on. And we might want to see you a few times quickly to start with, but that's just to get your pain under control. We're not trying to, rip you off, steal your money, anything like that. We're trying to get the quickest and best outcome we can get for you. And then after that, we'll start to space the visits out more as we start to work more on strength, and when that pain's under control and you can start going back to doing the things that you want to do. As that happens, we'll start to space it out more, trying to get the best outcomes that we can for you, and working our plan as how often we see you around that.
Awesome. Josh, what you got us?
Yeah, and I think that also ties back to what we said before about communication. Like, if you're really open with us and tell us everything that's going on, we're just going to be able to get through this much quicker, be able to treat you so much faster. And it's also important to realize that certain conditions, certain tissues, they take a certain amount of time to heal and get better. And the longer you leave it, the longer it's going to take to get better. If you have something that could get fixed in 6 to 8 weeks, great. But then if you only come maybe once every 2 weeks, it's going to take you maybe up to 6 months. And rather get it done at the front end, and then at the back end you can enjoy your time and get back to training as soon as possible.
Cool. And I think that pretty much covers everything. I mean, it's such a, I don't know why it's such a big concern for people. I mean, like, I get it, but at the same time, I see the value in it so greatly because I've lived physios for the last, like, 2 or 3 years. So, like, you guys have the best place in my life, and you guys are more important to me than a massage guy is. But for some people, it's flipped. They'd rather go see a masseuse because they've got, I'm tied up here.
Yeah.
But it's like, you spend $90 on a massage therapist 3 times, it's $270. Could have seen a physio 3 times too.
Yeah. And learn how to manage it yourself.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, so I suppose I wanted to convey that to people, and you guys have done a really good job of that.
Our goal is to find the cause and prevent it happening in the future. So although it may be an intimidating amount of money in the beginning, in the long run, the idea is that you don't need to come back and see us because you know how to manage it or avoid it.